everybody, it's Joe Cioffi on this Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, May 9th. And happy birthday to my cousin Joe Massaro, who is 8 months older than me. And he just turned 60, so I will be following suit in January. And the handsome gentleman that you see over my shoulder over there is none other than my pal.
North Shore.
This is North Shore, what I call the All Shore, North Shore, South Shore correspondent, meteorologist Phil Buzz.
Hello out there.
In TV land.
TV land.
So he's here with me tonight. It's good to see everybody here as we get on board. There are a couple of things I want to address tonight. First off, we're going to talk about the severe weather, and then we're also going to talk about something that I've been mentioning the last few days about how weather models are going to gel up all kinds of tropical systems in the long range, and how we need to learn not to pay too much serious attention to these sorts of things. That's just pretty much the way it is. Just like in the wintertime when it shows those big snowstorms that a lot of times are out there in the day 10 to day 16 time frame, and they don't wind up happening. So let's first off bring up what's going on at the moment, because we do have some severe weather, a risk of severe weather tonight over a portion of eastern Illinois, much of northern Indiana, much of Indiana except the southern third. They're in a marginal risk. I'm specifically referring to the slight risk of severe weather on up into Michigan. This includes, by the way, Chicago. Looks like Milwaukee's just out of it, but Chicago's in that risk area. Detroit is pretty close to the border of the slight risk and the marginal risk. And then we've got two other smaller patches of marginal risk in western Kansas and southeastern Colorado, and another band that's up in the northwest and the northern Rockies. Those areas also indicative of marginal risk. And this is part of the next weather front that's moving along to the east. We are not seeing too much now, at least in terms of the risk area. At least we're not seeing any severe thunderstorm watches at this point. And here's the radar. I'll bring up the full U.S. radar, and we can take a look at this. I'll get a little tighter on the Midwest, but you can see the heavier showers. You've got some rain up in the upper peninsula of Michigan and the northernmost area of the lower peninsula, and then you've got these trailing showers and storms coming into western parts of Lake Michigan and then extending up into northern Illinois. So that this is where the southern part of that line is probably going to fire up into some stronger thunderstorms in the next couple of hours. This is all going to translate to the East Coast as we head into Thursday, and I don't think that the severe weather risk for tomorrow is going to be anything like what we see today. It'll probably be more on the lines of a marginal risk, and that will be about it. Here's the surface map at the moment. This was actually plotted as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have we're still kind of in between this frontal boundary that has been sitting offshore, low pressure running out to the northeast. There's some clouds and fog just off the coast that'll probably back in westward tonight. And then we have this low that's sitting in southern Wisconsin, and this is part of the next cold front that's going to come through here for late Thursday. So looking at where this pattern is headed, in fact, before that, I've got the visible loop, so at least we could see from my neck of the woods what's happening. You know, really had a very nice day here today. But you can see offshore, there's the cloud cover that's kind of arcing back northwestward. There's a little bit of a low. You can see the curl there on the visible satellite that's running up to the northeast. So that's a surface low that's running out. But some of these clouds are going to back westward, and some low clouds that'll come in tonight with some patchy fog. Really haven't been getting too much of that the last few nights, except along the immediate coast. So I'm not going to be, I'm not overemphasizing this, but we are transitioning over to one day where it's going to be a little warmer and a little more humid for Thursday, which might set us up for some late day scattered activity. Again, I'm not really overly impressed by it, but let's take you through. And there have been, by the way, also a couple of changes regarding the weekend. I mean, it's looking like, for me anyway, that Mother's Day may see some improvement after a front comes through Saturday night. But here's our surface map, and there's that coastal low goes out. So here's the cold front for tomorrow. That moves on through. Again, nothing really extraordinary there. Low pressure now comes out of Kansas on Friday. Nice day here Friday, but that warm air, very warm air, is going to try to get in here Saturday. So a bit of a warm front ahead of it. So we might see some showers here during the early morning hours on Saturday, and then a bit of a break, and then this east-west cold front comes through with some more showers and thunderstorms later Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. It's coming, all of this is happening faster than previously modeled. And also, if you remember back to yesterday, we were talking about that northern part of the jet stream being, if it's a little stronger, it'll force this front further south and faster. And that seems to be the case here, because by Sunday afternoon, there really isn't too much going on. And then going into next week, I really don't see too much, anything really serious happening. I want to bring up the map of the North Atlantic, and we'll use this. Okay, so this is what I want to address again today, because it's always going to come up in questions now from here on, so I'm trying to nip it in the bud. Just like we have quote-unquote fake news, you might say that the models sometimes show us quote-unquote fake weather, and you really can't put a lot of faith in things that are out on day 9 and 10. I mean, especially in the month of May. Now, the GFS is spinning up a tropical system in the Caribbean and actually spins it up into a hurricane as it moves it into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. This is along about, say, from May 19th to May 22nd. I don't know if this, the chances of this being real are extremely, extremely low, maybe slightly above zero. Okay, so it really, to me, it doesn't seem to be worth the time to go over dynamics and how this might happen, because it's very rare. There have only been 22 tropical systems in the month of May, and only 4 of them have been hurricanes. So you're really talking a long shot here, even though we have seen it happen the last couple of years with May tropical systems. By the way, this is the Canadian model, which out to 240 hours really doesn't show very much of anything at all. I think it would make much more sense. Usually it's the Canadian that's spinning stuff up. And we'll jump to the European, which I really didn't get a chance to look at until today, but I can tell you right now from what I just saw from this one map, I'm not impressed by this. But here is a look at the surface, so let's back it up. I mean, there's really no indication at all of anything developing here. So the GFS, to me, looks like it's somewhere out there in La La Land with regards to all this. We do have a system in the Pacific, which we mentioned yesterday, waiting to see when the first Eastern Pacific tropical system gets going. And if you take a look here at the loop that I'm putting up, you can see that swirl of clouds. It definitely looks like there's some kind of mid-level circulation. But the Hurricane Center has actually downgraded the chances of this developing into a tropical storm or even a tropical depression on its last outlook that it had. It lowered the odds to 50% after being up at 70%. There's only going to be a limited amount of time, and in fact, the disturbance may already be moving into an area where conditions are far less favorable for development. So it may just wind up being a low that'll just spin itself away over the next couple of days. It's still a little bit too early to have a tropical system out there in that particular position. So let me find, hopefully I can find myself hidden away. Did I accidentally delete it? It's here somewhere. All right, I'm going to have to reload here, and then I'll come up to the top, and let's see, video capture device. There we go. So here I am, And let me come to the chat board and see what everybody's talking about. MJO models, Mikhail Petrovic, MJO models going through phase 1 and 2, favoring Caribbean, can't rule out, but highly unlikely. I agree with that. You know, I'm not going to get any. I'm not going to work up a lot of energy over this. I've had too much experience over the years with models showing storms in the long range that almost all the time don't wind up happening. And greetings and salutations to Scott Olson. Florida getting rain. Mickey Petrovic is, yeah, over the weekend there is going to be a little bit of a small low that's going to develop over the weekend, moving northward over Florida, that will probably bring some rain or showers there, but that should be about it. T-Bear, beautiful day in northeastern Pennsylvania. Awesome. Got to almost to 75. Good for you. Thank you, Kendall Bailey. Very kind of you to say. Appreciate you being here. And could we see severe weather in Michigan anytime soon? Well, look out this evening. You know, you do have a marginal to slight risk for severe weather in southern Michigan at this point. So you might want to pay attention over the next few hours as that weather front moves to the east. All right, folks, keeping it short tonight. There really isn't too much going on. Given the time of year, that's not a big surprise. So we're just going to end it here at this point. You can check out the latest website posts on meteorologistjoecioffi.com. And just want to let you know, you can, on the descriptor of this site is my Amazon, is a link to Amazon. I'm a participant in the Amazon Services LLC Associates program, which is an affiliate advertising program where you shop. If you shop through my link, Amazon pays me a fee, and it's a great way to support my channel. So thank you so much if you do use that link at any time. I really appreciate it. Yes, thank you. As Phil Buzz has. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.